morning, and welcome to the morning show with Angel and Tina, and the authors of the Lemonade Stand. Tina, how are you? Where are you on my screen?
I know, right?
How are you today?
Where in the world are you? Well, for those of you guys who know, I flew over to San Antonio because I had a speaking engagement yesterday. And so I am in a hotel room. So no pretty pink flowers in the background. I have my little setup like on an ice bucket on top of a...
You've got your laptop up on an ice bucket.
So I have my iPad on top of an ice bucket with my portable ring light that I have on. We have the Connect Summit today, so I'm so excited. But I want to tell you guys a quick story. So let me just tell you, the devil is working hard. So I'm flying to San Antonio, right? My first time flying in a year. And you guys are going to die when you hear my little horrific story. So I get to the airport and they're like, well, we're going to delay your flight. We're supposed to leave like at 6. We didn't get on the plane till 7:30. We finally got on the plane. It just didn't leave until 7:30. So we started, going up. I don't know what that's called, going up. And then all of a sudden I had my earbuds in because, I was like, I am not just dealing with it. I had my thing down. I was like, there's about 40 people on there. And then all of a sudden the captain comes on and he says, something brace for impact. And I said, what did he just say? And we're going up and all of a sudden it goes.
Okay, and planes aren't supposed to go.
No, planes are not supposed to do that.
Oh my God.
So we had to land like in the field way out in the airport. A trolley had to come get us. We had to get on another plane. But I finally got to San Antonio 7.5 hours later. I was like calling my kids. Nobody was answering me. I was like leaving messages for like just in case something was happening because it was so crazy. Like I knew we weren't that far off the ground, but still, I was like, oh my God, we're gonna die. But we're not. We didn't die, obviously. But it was just a crazy experience. But then I got to San Antonio. I did my event yesterday. My event sponsor came out and she took me out. We went on a princess carriage ride and had dinner, and we had a good old girls' night out last night. So it was all good.
It was all good. Well, oh my gosh, Tina, we are. Wow. Right? Has anybody ever been in an emergency landing airplane situation?
No.
You know that
don't ever want to be.
When somebody can't get on or technology is like holding you back, you're about to make an impact. Like you just know, like there is a reason for this. And the reason is you are about to make an incredible impact. And of course, Tina was out there speaking to a group of entrepreneurs, and the impact that she made, the stories that she, you just know, right? That's what she's talking about. The devil is in the
and I'm getting these stories. I woke up this morning and there were stories, and messages coming through to me at 2:00 in the morning, at 4:00 in the morning, telling me all these things, how I was able to impact them yesterday, and how, so I was like, you know what? The devil was trying to keep me away because it was trying to.
Well, Tina, your story, right? Your story is going to end up in a Lemonade Stand anthology, because who we have here are a whole group of authors who have some amazing breakthrough stories, turning their lemons into lemonade. Of course, the publisher of Lemonade Legend, we have Miss Michelle Faust. Michelle, right? Like doesn't her story, like you can start to see it like be a perfect fit for an upcoming chapter in a Lemonade Stand. What do you think?
Well, absolutely, because I've seen stories that span over decades of time that people write about, and then they're all the way down to that little traumatic event, where maybe your life is
flashing before your eyes.
And you're like, what are the things I haven't accomplished? Or, is this the time to find Jesus? But it amazes me how almost anything can be turned into a story. And we've been even doing that in our master class that we've been holding and by membership and little things where we're just trying to highlight little, moments in our lives sometimes that have a huge impact on how we feel. Because
Well,
I'm sure for Tina, that impacted her and her.
That will, right? And it impacted many, right? And you see the ripple effect of decisions and choices we make, by showing up every single day. So, Michelle, this is an exciting week for all of you here today.
I can't believe how many women are on here and going to share their stories in this book of trials to triumphs. I mean, we've been talking about this for almost a year. Angel, do you know it's almost been a year since we started the Angel and Tina Morning Show?
Wow.
Next month, well, April 6th will be 1 year, our 1 year anniversary.
Yeah, it's coming up. Like the days were long, but the year has been short. It has.
Short, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And all of the guests, everybody, and we've talked about this so many times, everybody who has come on our show has taken their trials and turned them into triumphs, and turning the little things that they've had and turning into these big, huge accomplishments. And that's what all of these people here on today's show is all about. They took their trials or their opportunities and turned them into lemonade. Take their lemons and turn them into lemonade.
So Michelle, tell us about the book.
Well, we only have an hour.
Where do I begin?
As you know, I do get so passionate about these books that I put out, and not only the books and the stories, but the bonds that are created between the authors. And this one has been very, very special. I shouldn't say that because I don't want somebody from book one going, well, we were special. They're all special. Trust me. It's just each book takes on a life of its own. Mm-hmm. And I don't particularly go out and search for certain stories or certain themes, but it all falls into place. So this book is nothing like book number one. This is book number two, as unique and special all on its own. It stands on its own. I love the fact that the stories are very relatable. So anybody in this world can pick up the Lemonade Stand book too and say, I've been there, I've done that, I've had that happen to me. Because we have stories about, medical issues, divorce, loss and grief. I'm sorry, we all inevitably are going to feel loss and grief. So we have an amazing array of stories, even just, how to pick yourself up when you're down. So Lynn did actually, you're seeing her as Greg Brown, but that's her husband.
Oh.
Do you know how to change your name on there, Lynn?
I think I do. Can you walk me? You want to tell me real quick?
So if you hover over your picture, there's those three little dots.
Yes.
You should see it says rename. Brings up a menu that says, and should say rename. And if you click on that.
Oh, good one. Okay.
She's like, oh, you learn something new every day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sometimes I just think I'm just going to start calling her Greg.
Start calling me Greg. Okay. Thank you, ladies.
But a special shout out to Lynn because she's a second-time author in the Lemonade Stand. And so I was so thrilled when she raised her hand to say, I'll do it again. So then you have to come up with a different story. And her story wasn't so much about the trials to triumph as it was about how do you redefine your beautiful life, which I believe is exactly what your title was. So who cannot relate to that? That we all go through a process in our lifetime where we have to redefine certain areas of our life. And right now, I think we're all talking about, we're getting derailed or rerouted Yeah, and we have to
rerouting. There's a story, right, Tina? Right? For
Right?
rerouting.
Recalculating.
Yeah. That's a really good word. I love that. Well, let's meet these authors. The Lemonade Stand is now available, just been published, just been released, and super excited. So we are excited to bring to you the best-selling authors of The Lemonade Stand, Book 2, published under Lemonade Legend Publishing imprint. So let's go ahead and meet our authors. Tell us just a little bit about you, and then we'll come back around and talk about your chapter in the book. So we just want to at least let's introduce yourselves, and then we'll come back and talk about your chapter in the book. Kathleen, we'll start with you.
Okay, I'm Kathleen Blair. My company is Hope Renewed, and I am a certified grief and loss coach.
Nice.
Wow. Lynn?
My name is Lynn Brown, and I live in Kirkland, Washington. And my first novel was 3 from beginning to end, and that's how I just sort of got started in all of this.
Wow. Dawn?
Hi, I'm Dawn Hopkins, and I'm the owner and founder of Inspiritus Yoga, and we are an international yoga school, but I'm also a yoga therapist and a yoga teacher trainer, and I do a lot of healing work as well.
Wow. And Dr. Wendy?
I'm Dr. Wendy Labat, the CEO of the Financial Cures, and I'm also known as the Financial Healer.
Oh, and she's one of our fan favorites here on the Angel and Tina Morning Show. I think she's been on like 50 times.
Well, it's easy to do when you've hosted over 200 episodes, right?
Right.
Okay, so I went off to get my coffee, and I left my glasses by the coffee.
That's why I'm trying to read it for you. I know you don't have your glasses. I know your name is not Gabe Cox, but
No, she's Gabe Cox.
is it?
Yep.
Okay, is it? Okay.
Just
I was
go.
like, are you talking about your husband too?
Nope. That's me, and I get it all the time. I get it, Gabe, Gabby, Gab, all the things. So, but I am my business is called Red Hot Mindset, and I help faith-fueled mama runners use their passions to enhance their productivity and spiritual growth, so that they can live intentionally and be the best examples for their kids.
What is your business called? Red
Hot Mindset.
And why is it called Red Hot Mindset?
A couple of reasons. I have red hair. So there's that.
I figured.
Yeah, it actually goes really well with the Lemonade Stand, because it's about stepping into the fire of refinement, and we have to, step into our struggles to have our breakthrough. And so it's really about doing that so we can come out stronger.
I love that. All right, Nicole.
Good morning. I'm Nicole. I'm from Chandler, Arizona. And the chapter I wrote is The Alchemy of Forgiveness. I'm in the process of putting together a company to teach people how important it is to forgive yourself and others through the method I use, which is Ho'oponopono.
Wow. And Julie.
Hi, I'm Julie Jones, and I help business owners grow their business using a tool to help relationships grow.
Oh, I love it.
I just love helping people. I'm also I'm sorry, I get so nervous about doing this. I'm a co-leader for a networking group called Experience Connections, and I just really want to help people with their businesses.
Oh, I love her. Julie is a good dear friend of mine, actually. Lisa.
Hey friends, I miss you ladies. We had so much fun this past weekend. I'm Lisa Williams. I'm the Chief Inspiration Officer at Lisa Williams Co. I'm a business matchmaker and wealth educator, and we help entrepreneurs and families move around the cash flow quadrant by creating additional income streams. And my chapter was on forgiveness, the power that forgiveness has blessed my life with.
Wow. And last but not least, Tina.
Hi, I'm Tina. I'm from Pittsburgh, PA. I'm a photographer and business owner of Unique Photo Innovations.
Wow. So Michelle, you've got quite a diverse group of women. Geographically, you guys are all over the country. And I know one of the things that you have talked about is taking this group on tour, right? And doing book signing events and going to all the cities that all of the authors are in. Well, we want to say welcome and congratulations, ladies. I know you guys got together this weekend for a special event. Michelle, do you want to highlight some of the things and why you guys all got together and what you guys did?
Yeah, of course. You know, in this day, you know, worrying about COVID, it was a tough one to schedule. I'll tell you. Let me just say that, because you want to be respectful of where everyone is at in their heads as to whether they want to travel, be with people. But to give a shout out to Zonda Evan, we were filming episodes for my show, the Zonda Evan TV network. And, you know, it takes a certain amount of time to get editing and all of that down. So I kept saying, I can't just keep waiting. So I just put it out there. Who wants to come? Who feels comfortable? I had a place that had lots of space. We could be, you know, social distancing. We could wear our masks. So we just said, let's do it. And so not everyone attended. We've got a one lonely man, Jorah. I shouldn't call him lonely. It's just he's our one brave man who is an author in the book, but he lives in Portugal, so it's a little bit challenging to get him together. But anyways, we got together Friday night, and I love how, I think it was Tina this morning that posted on Facebook about the feeling. It wasn't just having a chapter. It wasn't just being a best-selling author. It was about coming together with 10 people that she'd never met. And by the end of the weekend, it was like we were all the best friends that we could possibly be. And so just by having been on Zoom networks and things like that, the bonding that happens is incredible. It's instant when you meet each other. And we had a ton of fun filming the episode. We laughed and giggled, forever. And then we had breakfast together Sunday morning. And I want to tell you, that was not only fun, it was a meeting of the minds. We ended up having so much business discussion of how we could help each other and lift each other up. And, you know, who can do what? I've got right now, I think I have everyone has agreed to come on my membership for webinars and workshops that I have to get them scheduled into. I will be on Lisa Williams' show Friday as a guest speaker. And so everyone was just swapping information, talking about what we can do to help each other and help us lift each other. So that's like networking on steroids. Yeah,
I'm excited, right? I know we've missed being together. I know Tina's in person, right? And we forget because we haven't seen each other how much we have missed it until we get back together again. Well, I'm glad that it was a success. I'm glad you guys got to connect and bond. That's one of the most valuable pieces of being a part of the Lemonade Stand, of having your story inside of there. Well, let's go through. I want to hear about your stories. I want to hear about, out of all the stories you had in your life, like this is the one that made it into the book. So Kathleen, let's start with you. Well, actually, sorry, Kathleen, I know you're getting all excited. I know you guys all just recorded and somebody did not record talking about her chapter. So let's start with you, Michelle, we're going to lead this off so we don't forget, we don't leave and don't run out of time. We're going to lead with, tell us about the chapter. Out of all the chapters you could have put and written about, tell us what you wrote about.
Well, it's funny because when Lynn asked me, you know, well, who interviewed you? And I said, no one. I didn't even think about it. Didn't occur to me because this is like a project to me, a project of passion and love. and more so than it is about my story. So originally I wasn't going to write anything because I started off book one with my most compelling story, which is all about my hearing loss and growing up with that disability. And I thought, whatever am I going to write about? Because I had enough people say, you have to put another chapter in here. So we all have lemons raining down on us all the time. So the one I picked is the one I've been talking about for the past year. I just celebrated a 1-year anniversary from being in jail in New Orleans for 5 horrible, miserable days.
Michelle, when I first heard this story last year, and you wouldn't tell nobody. I remember you coming on the Angel and Tina Morning Show, and you wouldn't tell nobody because it was coming out in the magazine. I opened up that magazine so fast because I wanted to see what it was that you got arrested for.
I know, you think it's going to be something like really salacious to spend
oh my
5 days in jail in New Orleans. I mean, they do some pretty raunchy stuff in New Orleans. So what could she have done that would land her in jail for 5 days?
And you know, Michelle is so sweet and innocent. You're like, what would she do? All right, Michelle, you got to let us know.
All right, so here is a 62-year-old grandmother with a squeaky clean record that ended up in jail with not 1, but 2 felony charges and 2 misdemeanor charges.
But she landed there on a Friday night of a holiday weekend.
It was Valentine's. It was Valentine's.
Wasn't it like President's Day or something on Monday?
So that's why it was 5 days that we were in jail, because it was Friday night, and because of the holiday, there would be no judge to go before to post bond until Tuesday morning.
Okay, Michelle, inquiring minds want to know, what was one thing in jail that you thought you would never, like one thing that you seen in jail that you thought that you would never see?
Well, I'll tell you what I got out of it. I think that's the most important thing. Because I never would have thought I would understand this so well. By the end of 5 days, and understand I was in total isolation because I did something really stupid because I was just frustrated. And so they put me down on suicide watch, which means when you're on suicide watch, I mean, you don't get out of the jail. I had 1 day and 5 days where they let me out for 30 minutes to go shower. That was it. They don't provide you a toothbrush, like, you know, a cup. These are things, I'm like, what am I going to do? Am I going to jam a toothbrush up my nose and try to, you know, injure my brain?
Well, now that you mentioned it, you're not getting one.
It's just insane that, and the humanity of it. If I really was suicidal, is it right to treat me that way? Is it right to treat me like I'm that horrible of a person? Mm-hmm. So that was one thing that just really resonated with me, because I think most of you know that that's my passion of my give back is with Be Daring Foundation and mental health. And I'm just like, I cannot believe that they would treat somebody.
You need extra humanity, right? When you're in a space like that, right? Yes.
Exactly. But the other thing I realized is that no one will talk to you. You know, I couldn't get a hold of my daughters. They didn't give me my one call. I knew they were going to be calling me regularly because they were on the road, and I told them to call me every night. And so I knew
I had been trying to call you. Like, we had an appointment scheduled. I'm like, where'd Michelle go? Where'd Michelle? But I knew she'd been traveling. So I'm like, oh, her phone must have died, right? Like,
Angel, did you even think that would be even a possibility?
No. I'm thinking it's a technology issue. Like, she left her charger behind, right? Like something really benign. And when she tells me,
and then she tells you, so Angel, I couldn't get on your phone, the coaching call with you because I was arrested. And you went, what?
No, not you, of all the people. So that's the story that's in the book, Michelle.
So that is it. And the end of, I just want to wrap that up with, those 5 days became very valuable to me. because I learned that no one can control, the one thing they can't control is my mind. I can put my mind where I want it to be at any point in time, and that I do have the ability to put myself in another space. I also learned that I was sitting right in a space that all of my authors sit, and that is not having a voice. Because I couldn't get people to listen to me, the sergeants wouldn't, the guard people, even the medical. I couldn't get my medication. Nobody would listen to me. And so it became such a powerful story for me because I realized what it's like to not be heard. So it strengthened my mission to do what I do. And because I haven't mentioned it before I stop, the reason I was arrested is because I didn't want to pay $35 for a 4-mile taxi drive.
So her Uber driver got a little, or taxi driver got feisty and called the cops on her.
Exactly. And my felonies was because the officer handling me put my left handcuff on really loosely, not once, but twice. So naturally, my hand just slipped out. I wasn't trying to escape. He was just such an idiot officer.
He's a felon. He was trying to escape the car.
Resisting arrest, right?
Michelle, those didn't stay on your record, did they?
I'm sorry, what?
Did they stay on your record?
Well, fortunately, it took thousands of dollars for the lawyer, disputing $15 extra I didn't want to pay. I was willing to pay 20, not 35, right? Cost me, lawyer fees, but not only was everything dismissed, the DA apologized. The DA apologized for the treatment, how it was handled, and how Louisiana was represented in the situation. That gave me a little bit of I don't know.
It's a little validation.
Okay.
Right? The DA, they don't apologize for much.
Yeah, right. But they can read the rest of the story in the book, Lemonade Legends, too. Yep. Read the whole story, all the, why it was 2 felonies and 2 misdemeanors. I mean, the story is unbelievable. All right. Well, Kathleen, now you can tell us what your chapter is about.
Okay, my chapter is I lost 5 people in 8 years. And so through 2001 to 2009. And I got pretty good at what the stages of grief was. And one of the ones too, the book is a lot about caring for my invalid husband and going through that, and how we owned a business together, and how when he passed away, I lost everything. I lost my business, I lost my partner, it just went on and on. And so having had so much experience with grief, and then, we're all grieving right now in this pandemic that we've gone through for a year. We're grieving the lifestyle we had, we're grieving the loss of not being with our friends and loved ones. Some people, I lost my brother 3 weeks ago to COVID. So I'm grieving at this time over that loss. And I wrote a 12-week course on how to survive the loss of a loved one through death, but I'm also coaching people who've lost their jobs. They're grieving, they didn't do anything. It's just the businesses, weren't opening again. And so I help people re-identify themselves. And first, the mental, you have to get, as Michelle was saying, you've got to get the right mindset. Wasn't your fault. Life will go on. You're talented, you have gifts, and we just pivot. And I show them how they can use their same talents. And, I take them from hopeless to hopeful.
Oh, I love that. Hopeless to hopeful.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you. I can't wait, right? These are, and like Michelle said, there's stories, they're all relatable. We've all found ourselves in them, right? Yeah. We are all grieving a lot of things right now. A lot.
I think I realized how much I miss people when I got here. Like, and I was able to hug other people than people that I live with, you know, and hug them and like speak face to face. But let me just tell you, it is very different talking to people with a mask on. It's almost like you got like a shield, like, you know, in front of you. Like
it's like a boundary.
Yeah, it's not the same. You know, it's not the same. But all right, so Dawn, let us know, tell us about a little bit about your chapter and what we can learn from it.
Awesome. First of all, I couldn't wait, Michelle. I had to go get a printed copy. And it's pretty crazy when you see your name in print for the first time. So I just want to thank you for this opportunity and to be among all you amazing women. It's been just an incredible journey. So my story is called The Alchemy of Love and Faith. And it's really kind of about my broken road to finding my faith and finding my amazing husband. So it took me through being an atheist, having a near-death experience to arrive, you know, in some semblance of a faith that now has become an integral part of my life and purpose. And I had to go through 2 failed marriages to find the love of my life and my soulmate. And part of his story is that he lost his wife to ovarian cancer. And so he was one of my yoga students. That's all I'm going to say. There was nothing sorted. But you know, this broken road that leads us to beautiful places is so much what this lemon to lemonade stories, you know, all of the stories are about. And so these broken roads, you know, they teach us so much about ourselves. We learn our strength, our perseverance. You know, we have to learn how to navigate grief, how to forgive. It's been an amazing journey that's been an integral part of my healing, just writing this, because I was terrified. Michelle knows that. I was terrified to put my story out there, even though I had told it in, you know, various places in different forms. I had never put it out there like this and for everyone to see. And so having to kind of overcome my own fear and shame. I think that shame was what kept me in the closet with my story, and realizing that these stories provide inspiration and hope and relatability, because we've all been through various trials and tribulations, and it's what we do with them that matters, you know. And our pain can become our purpose, and our misery can become our ministry, which is very much what has happened in my life and journey. Professionally, I've used all of this, I've alchemized it to fuel my purpose. And so, you know, to be able to share this story is just an honor.
Wow, I love that. I love that you were able to go through so much and be able to take that and turn it into a chapter. All right, Julie.
Hi. Well, my chapter is about the story of my children having a hearing loss. And when I first found out, I was devastated because I didn't know anything about hearing loss. And there's just that fear of the not knowing. And I had a lot more confidence with my second daughter because I had already knew what to do. And I leaned on my faith, and that really got me through everything. And I knew I could do it with God's help. So now that the girls are in their 20s and they're very successful and they're doing great, and I just wanted to share that with other people because there is hope. I don't want anyone else to feel as devastated and lost like I did. And just want to educate people too that there are things out there that can help. You know, there's so many people that just don't understand what there is that you can actually do for hearing loss. And so I am so thankful that I have this opportunity to share. I've always wanted to share my story. I just didn't know how. And Angel and Tina introduced me to Michelle, and I'm just so thankful that Michelle is letting me be a part of the book. Thank you.
Both you and Dawn, right here you have this story, but being brave enough to put it into print, having this platform to share it in. And that's one of the things that Michelle really wants to provide is we all have stories. We've all been through some stuff. And right now, somebody somewhere needs to hear your story. And there's sharing it in conversation, has a ripple effect, but putting it into print and having it in a book that will be out there. Right? It's scary because you can't say, I didn't say that. They're like, here it is right here. It's in print. You can't take it back. And so kudos to all of you for trusting the process, but even putting your story side by side with somebody else who has also taken this leap of trust to share their stories in such a powerful way.
So I'd just like to add one thing to Julie's story, which is really a beautiful story. And we worked a lot together. Some people just whip out their story, no problem. Julie and I worked together quite a bit to try to really mold it and fit it so that it worked. But here's the thing she didn't say, and this is what I got out of her story, is that as mothers, I'm not going to say fathers don't feel this, but as mothers, when we're carrying these babies for 9 months, and we had this image, they're going to come out perfect. And we think about an image life, 20 years beyond. You never in a million years do you think you were going to have a child with a disability and illness. And I think Julie's story really represents so many mothers where that happened, not just hearing loss, but all kinds of things that happen that you would never expect. And it's just like it burst your bubble. That whole 9 months of dreaming and hoping and that is really, to me, kind of the core of Julie's story of how she was able to finally just say, okay, God trusted me with these children. Now what do I do?
Thank you, Julie, for sharing. All right, who's next? Tina.
All right, Dr. Wendy.
My story is called Discovering the Financial Cure. I've been a business entrepreneur for over 37 years. So, my mind is kind of wired from the business perspective. And when I got diagnosed with breast cancer, just from a regular routine mammogram, and then the fact that my own doctor wouldn't give me my results, I had to open up the envelope and read it sitting in my car. It was, it was really frustrating, and made me want to go in there and go off, but I didn't. So I said, Lord, where do I go from here? So, he just kind of led me to a sense of peace to let me know there wasn't a death sentence. So I called a friend of mine who was a breast cancer conqueror, and she gave me her, oncologist number, and then everything just flowed from there. And, I expanded my business a few years prior to that to include, insurance and financial services. So again, from the business perspective and marketing, perspective, I bought all the products and services I was going to sell my clients, and, not looking at it from a personal financial planning perspective. So, I went through, I had the most aggressive form of cancer. So I took the most aggressive form of treatment, which meant the 5 surgeries. It cost, over $300,000. And then the chemotherapy infusions every 3 weeks for a year at a price tag of $67,000. Now our editor said, well, when did he calculate that out? So I calculated it out way after the fact. And it was like $1.1 million. And I'm still shocked when I think about that. And I just think, had I not had that coverage, it would have ruined me financially. But instead, the fact that I did practice what I preached, not only did my insurance cover all the medical bills and the chemo bills, I also got a multi-6-figure financial tax-free shot in the arm that put me way ahead of the curve. And I'm like, okay, I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, I'm happy, after everything was over. And I was in my comfort zone. And God said, no, I got you out on the other side, better than you went in. So now it's time for you to go on a crusade to empower other people to, not let one injury or illness ruin them financially. So that's how I discovered the financial cure. That's how I created the financial cures and the financial cure system, and why I'm known as the financial healer, to empower other people to be able to turn their lemon of whatever it is as far as health into lemonade. So I'm glad to be a part of this, and I love the other ladies, and I'm so proud to be in the company of the other ladies, because, to meet them and talk with them, you would never think they have been through what they've been through.
Now you all have these like beautiful, brave faces, and we wear, we put ourselves out there, and you have no idea. We have no idea what's going on behind the scenes. And Wendy, your story that you are on a crusade is so empowering. And you are definitely impacting lives. Thank you.
And she's walking, she's walking the walk. Like ever since I met her, she's definitely walking the walk, Okay, Lynn.
Yes. So my story is redefining our beautiful lives, and came to this point to write this story because we've all been blessed with a beautiful life by God and from God, and we need to be thankful for that life. And it was I started looking at my process of how we all maneuver through life, and while we are all in different circumstances, some of us come from great places, some of us come from not so great places, and yet we all have the ability to redirect our own beautiful life that we've been given. So I sort of walked through that process with myself to write this story, to see how all of this had come about and how it had impacted me with choices. And I guess at the end of the day, what we can all realize is that we are the answer to our own lives. We hold all of the answers to our own lives. And if we find ourselves in a situation that is unhealthy or unhappy, or something we need to get out of, or something we need to head towards, it's important to take a look at who we are and take stock of ourselves and see where we've been and what we have. I mentioned power tools. Those can be people, those can be situations, those can be, most important power tool is yourself. And it doesn't have to happen overnight. It doesn't have to happen in a day, a week, a month, but have a goal and give yourself the green light to go forward with your life, because we all only have one beautiful life, and we need to assess that every once in a while and see if we're happy where we're going and doing what we want to do, and making that journey a positive journey for other people around us. So we are a light to other people, that we are encouraging to other people. I do talk a little bit in the article about fasten your seatbelt and hang on, because once you start this journey of making changes, you certainly can run over people, and you need to be really careful that you are that you're very conscientious of those around you. So I guess that was it. My word that I gave Michelle for the lemonade stand too was gatekeeper, because we are the gatekeepers of our own lives, and we are the answers. And that was the message I really wanted to get out to women and men. And while we're all born with different, I do believe we're born with different levels of confidence, and that kind of is then created or not created or enhanced as you grow up. We all have that seed planted, and we just need to make sure that we understand we are the answer to our beautiful lives.
Beautiful, Lynn. Thank you. What a contribution. What a contribution.
Wow.
Thank you.
How brave of these girls and these ladies to share such an intimate part of their life for other people to take away. For a long time, I didn't want to share my story, and I started sharing it last year. And yesterday I shared it, and I had so many women come up to me and tell me, thank you for sharing your story. I'm going through the same thing. So you never know what kind of story, your story, it's just, it's just this, but somebody somewhere out there is looking for that kind of hope to say, oh, if she can do it, I can do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So kudos to all of you for sharing your story and taking that leap of faith and being so vulnerable to share that intimate part of your life. All right, Gabe.
All right. So my story is called Running for My Life, and it's kind of interwoven on how running has been a part of my life. I'm an avid runner now, but I hated it when I was in high school. But now it's become a way that I set goals and coach others. But in the middle of that, it was a form of control. And in my story, I share how I went into a really deep depression, and I had an eating disorder and an exercising disorder in college. And part of that was a lot of shame and guilt that I felt as a Christian, that I went there, and that I felt like I should have had enough faith to get me through it. Well, it was the faith that did get me through it. But that was my deepest, darkest moments, and feeling those suicidal thoughts, and getting to a point of cutting myself. And so I go really, really deep into that and share kind of those feelings. And right now, the reason why I wanted to share this story, because it took me a long time to share this part of my life, because it is very vulnerable. But why I needed to share it is because right now, in the midst of this past year, so many people are feeling it. And I think so many younger and younger are feeling it. And it's getting to this point that we need to embrace it, and we need to be having these conversations. We need to be supportive and helping others. And the hardest thing for, well, at least for myself, but I think the hardest thing for the people who are going through a deep depression or suicidal thoughts and different things is reaching out and asking for help, because we feel like we're so far gone that it's hopeless. And so one of the things I learned through that is the power of our mind, and how we really need to take control and take captive every thought that goes in, kind of like we have a bouncer of our mind, and really thinking and dwelling on what is lovely and what is pure and what is worthy of praise. And so that was a healing process that I went through, and I started a self-development journey. And now I have that passion to share with others. And now I do have the passion, now that I opened up to that story. One of the reasons why I didn't want to open up, I didn't want to go back to that place. And really, bring up all those feelings as you start writing and as you start thinking about it. But at the same time, it's about us being willing to do it. Because if we inspire at least one person who says life is worth living, then it was all worth it.
Yeah. I like that you said that, because it's something that you need to put into yourself. If I can just help one person change their life, if I can just help one person say, okay, I won't give up, then it is all worth it. Lisa.
Well, I want to just start by saying how just what a cathartic process it was, and how somehow God brought all these women together. And our tapestry, our book is just unbelievable. My chapter was on the power of forgiveness, and it started actually with my parents' journey when they separated when I was young, and found forgiveness for one another and created this amazing marriage. My mom passed away a year and a half ago, but they would have been married 53 years in June, and just gave me this amazing example of just, a marriage that thrives. When I hit my own challenge, I had been married about 5-6 years, I guess. My son, I was pregnant with my second son, and my marriage was in trouble. And I found myself a single mom suddenly with a 3-month-old and a 3-year-old. Little did I know that 2 years of counseling, there was a third person in the room, which was one of my best friends, who my husband had, started a relationship with. But again, I thought, oh, I know what to do. My parents gave me this great example. We'll make, we can do this, right? That ultimately wasn't the plan, but I was blessed with forgiveness. They got married. You know, they actually had a daughter. I found my beautiful husband. I teased that I had to switch husbands to get my girl. We have two beautiful boys from my previous marriage, and now we both have daughters that call each other sisters. And we have this amazing, crazy blended family that just works. And my goodness, we just knew that our boys' greater good was what we both wanted, and we worked together to make that happen. But truly, it was God's blessing of me letting go and releasing, and just knowing that this was the plan for my life. And I pray, I know it's already helped some families, you know, before this even came out, right? The final thing on the forgiveness, though, really, it was interesting timing, because when I met Michelle, I had been in corporate. I'm a recovering employee, turned entrepreneur a couple of years ago, and I was blessed with an amazing career for many, many years. And I was with my company for almost 23 years. And the last couple of years, they didn't treat me very well. I wasn't the young, shiny object any longer with the short skirt and the, you know, I made a lot of money. They had a lot of young people they could have paid a lot less, and started just treating me very poorly. And yet this process actually helped me forgive them too. And it's crazy just when I look back at the time, all those years and hours that I spent and blood, sweat, and tears building someone else's dream, you know, that door that was firmly shut in my corporate America job, it just opened up this amazing, abundant world of all these other doors, like all this greatness that God has meant for us to step into, that I think so many people forget to keep dreaming, and just, they can't get off that hamster wheel. And that's the mission at our company, is to help people wake up, step into their greatness, and become, you know, embrace the gifts that God has truly blessed them with that they haven't used yet. So it's just been so fun. And I want to tell you, we were in the jacuzzi, Gabe and Tina and I, and I felt like we were on a girls' trip. Like we've known each other for ages, and there was two ladies in the jacuzzi, and we were just like, Tina's like, yeah, we're best-selling authors, and all of them are like, you ladies seem like you've known each other a long time. I'm like, no, we just met, but we're soul sisters. We're going to be together forever. It was awesome, and I want to create something with each one of you, and I want to have you all on my podcast too.
Yeah, this is so special. I know, you know, because it's book 2, and you never want to take away from, you know, as you build on it, but it is, you guys have created each one is special.
A bond.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we are coming close, but we want to make sure that we give every best-selling author their limelight. So Nicole, let's have you share next.
Okay, thank you. I named my chapter The Alchemy of Forgiveness because when you live in non-forgiveness, you have a lot of really negative emotions that are inside of you: anger, I would even say hate, animosity. And so what I learned through forgiving was I was able to change those emotions into love, into acceptance, into patience. And when I learned to forgive myself, which was something I didn't know was possible, it also gave me a new perspective on loving myself. And it was something that I never really even knew existed. And when I started loving myself, the world just became different for me. It allowed me to truly forgive. It allowed me to live patiently, calmly. And the method I used was Ho'oponopono, and it consists of 4 phrases. It's I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, and thank you. And that just, it's amazing because I'm sitting in a teeny tiny room right now in Hawaii where it all started. So it's rather ironic that I'm talking about it today with you. And my journey has gone from just a train wreck to just, in my words, almost perfection. It's just such a beautiful way to live. So I'm very grateful to Michelle for allowing me to be part of this book. And thank you, ladies, for having us on your show.
Oh, I'm so excited you're in Hawaii sharing that today, Nicole. No coincidence. No coincidence.
And it all came full circle, you know.
It's amazing. That's where I found it. I'm talking about it today to you ladies, and I'm going to open my curtains in a minute, and it's finally going to be daylight because it's 3 hours behind, and I'm going to the beach. So I'm really excited.
Oh, we are jealous. Angel and I are both beach girls, and so we are definitely jealous.
Well, I'm paddleboarding today with rescue dogs.
Oh, nice.
She was doing puppies and beach paddleboarding. Oh, Nicole, how fabulous. How fabulous. And it is, it's early in Hawaii. Yeah. All right, Tina.
Tina Krebs.
Oh, sorry. Yes, there are two Tinas here. Sorry. Yes.
Yes. My story is chapter 10. It's Phoenix Rising. It is about how I survived my ex-husband, the domestic abuse from my ex-husband, who had raped and tried to kill me in my own home. And after losing everything, rebuilding my life, and he took everything from me except my choice to how I lived the rest of my life. So I decided to make it better, a lot better. And I've met, it led me here to meet all these amazing, incredible women. And, this weekend has been life-changing in so many ways for me. And, it's, you get this bond with these complete strangers where, they live across the country, across the world, and then you meet, and it's just a magical, instant bond. You can't really explain it. It's kind of like coming home for the holiday. It's amazing.
Oh, well, Tina, how brave.
Right?
Choice, right? And there's this, you can't have heard just a little glimpse of all of these authors here today and what they've all walked through, and look at them. Look at how, they're sunshine, right? They're exuding the glory of God, right? Through everything that they're doing. Michelle, are you just like a proud mama duck? Like how?
I know, right?
You have no idea how proud I am. Which is why my story got so lost in it, because that's not even what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about these women who trusted me with their story. That means the world to me, because that's a gift that they have all given me, is trusting me enough to guide them through the process. And I love each and every one of them, and I warn them that they will never, ever be rid of me. Because once somebody comes into my tribe, they're with me and they're solid. And I just hope everybody will, tune into all the things coming up. We have a virtual book tour coming up where we will be, promoting the book, and just Zonda TV network will be on. So there's lots coming up that people can just get another glimpse, because we've got more authors in this. So there's more stories than just what you see on the screen.
Well, so proud of you.
How amazing, right? How amazing that you came and decided to do a collaboration book. And the first one came out last year. Second one comes out this year. And you already are working on your third one, right?
I am. I wouldn't know what to do with myself if I didn't have a project in place.
Right.
There's always more. And I think every time you share one, other stories show up. They just come out of the woodwork and they start showing up. And so if you haven't purchased your copy of The Lemonade Stand Book 2, actually I had it on Kindle, but I just ordered the paperback too.
Yeah, I have a Kindle too.
I think that I'm still a paper girl. I just love to get it.
I like my physical books, because especially if they're like business books, I want to go in there and highlight it and read it and take it on the airplane with me. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to have the Kindle when you're traveling because you don't just, pack a ton of books, right?
Yeah.
But it is nice to have those stories. And ladies, I can't wait to see you and meet you in person on your virtual or on your actual book tour as you travel across the country throughout the year, inspiring others to share their stories as well. So the lemonade stand, it is available. Michelle, what else do we want to make sure that we share today?
I think, I think the most important thing is as soon as COVID sort of lifts the fear off of everybody, we're all coming to Orlando to your new media expo space that you are creating.
Right, our event center, right? I think yours is going to be one of the first events that we host here in my new home in Orlando. So I can't wait. Right, is everybody on board to come to Orlando? It's gorgeous here.
Yes.
She's just rubbing it in. It's gorgeous here.
It is. We have dinner outside every night because it's so.
I don't know about you guys, but I get a little bit jealous when she posts those little beautiful sunset pictures from her top of her balcony overlooking the pool.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I'm in a windowless room right now. I
Poor thing.
All right. Well, congratulations to everybody. Michelle, thank you for using the Angel and Tina Morning Show to promote, to launch, to create more visibility for you and your authors and this amazing project. This is a very special day. Not only are we bringing you all of these best-selling authors, it is the last Wednesday of the month. So you know what that means. It's Connect Summit. We have our Connect Summit happening today from 2 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time. You can grab your complimentary tickets at connectvirtualsummit.com. That's connectvirtualsummit.com. And make sure you put the last Wednesday of the month on your calendar and plan to join us every single month. Michelle is one of our Connect speakers on our speaker team.
And so is Dr. Wendy.
Dr. Wendy Labat is also on our Connect speaker team. And so you do not want to miss. We're so excited. We're so excited to bring you such a valuable year-long event, 10 events throughout the entire year of really building on. Each one builds upon the next. Today is our financial and our systems summit. You heard a little tip from Wendy about how life-changing it is when you get your finances in order. It's a day of that. So connectvirtualsummit.com.
I don't know about you, Angel, but I'm so excited. So excited. I mean, I got to be stuck here in my little, well, actually it's a big executive suite that they got for me, but it's still, I got to be stuck in a hotel room all day. But I am so excited to learn from all these speakers. They're going to be so amazing. So join us today from 2 to 7 Eastern. Go to connectvirtualsummit.com. We are Angel and Tina on the Angel and Tina Morning Show, where we come to you live every weekday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern. We will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day. And don't forget.